You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
Oh, Charlie. The Miami Dolphins fan base on social media they're driving me mental. Absolutely mental to the point where I think it's giving me a bad back. Oh, Charlie, I want to say so much to discuss and get into, but my timeline. And Charlie, how are you?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. And shout out to Fanatics. Thank you once again. We just held a giveaway. Fanatics shot us a unique Miami Dolphins jersey that we just gave away, and Lane won it, correct? Is that right?
It was Lane.
Yeah. Shout out to Lane for winning that, man. Like, I love it when people who really rock with us win something, because we don't rig it. So it's like, hey, whoever wins. It's cool when anyone wins it. Like, someone who just found us and have been hanging around for a week or two, they might win something, but it means something a little bit more when someone who's a patron or someone who's a subscriber wins it. So shout out to Robert Ashton, GTD in the house.
GTD are in the house. Shout out to Robert Ashton. Charlie, I didn't know, or I only found out on Monday that Robert is not only a Patreon member at Go Time Dolphins, I believe he's one over at the Same Old Dolphins as well. When we finished our live and I'd done the episode with Same Old Dolphins with Josh Kasker, go check that out. Robert was there. He was, chatting it up. So shout out to Robert, a real one across multiple channels. Also, shout out to the Fantasy Game Day app for, as always, sponsoring Go Time Dolphins. If you are a UK listener or subscriber, or just a UK fantasy player in general, head over to Fantasy Game Day app. Use code GTDFF. That's code GTDFF for a free second entry into daily fantasy sports. Charlie, before we get into today's discussion, we over on Patreon spoke about what Dolphin fans were arguing about on Monday, which was how the Dolphins let Chris Brooks leave the building. What do you think Dolphins fans are arguing about today over on social media? I'll give you a clue. It's Wednesday, and the first injury report came out.
I don't know, but it's Chris Brooks, bro. He was an undrafted free agent. He doesn't cost anything. We have a loaded running back room, and unless you're going to let Raheem Mostert walk, or Jeff Wilson Jr. walk, or the rookie Jalen Wright walk, or your starting running back in Devon Achane walk, bro, you're not going to keep 7 running backs. I'm just saying, like, some has to give here. That's what happens when you have a deep room. It's crazy how it's probably the same people that don't like Chris Greer too. Like, dang, you got all this talent, but you let the wrong one walk. Like, bro, you have to give and take everywhere. It is what it is. That's a good problem to have, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, is that Chris Brooks, like you said, was an undrafted free agent. When he had his moments last year, he looks good. Then he got injured. Mm-hmm. So okay, other guys stepped up. Cool, fair enough. Preseason, he looked good. Had a concussion. The Dolphins then, let him go with an injury settlement. And I was saying on social media, which isn't a real place, as we all know, Dolphins fans don't like Chris Greer for retaining injury players, but wants to bring back a running back in his second year who had been injured in his first year and they got injured in preseason. I don't understand it. And then I even added, okay, if they did keep Chris Brooks and let Jeff Wilson go, do you really think that Chris Brooks is going to dress? And if he does dress, that means Jalen Wright probably doesn't dress. And then it's, well, you haven't just like, oh, Charlie, social media is not a real place, but it is hilarious at times like this.
It is. It's crazy. I like Chris Brooks. We love Chris Brooks here at Go Time Dolphins. Tried to get him on the podcast when he was an undrafted rookie. Got a name for himself. Still tried to get him on the podcast, but man, I hate that we had to lose him. I would have hated losing Jeff Wilson Jr. too, because Jeff Wilson Jr. has that Raheem Mostert. All right, let me do that over. Jeff Wilson Jr. has that Raheem Mostert trait, which is you like, how much longer do they have on this team, and are they gonna make a roster? And then they touch the ball, and it's like, damn, I'm glad we got that on this team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, yo, I'm glad we got whoever it is running that ball. And they never disappoint either. The whole game goes by, 3 quarters goes by. Jeff Wilson Jr. fresh legs, first touch in the 4th quarter, and he closes the show. You gotta love it. So yeah, man, I'm okay with that. It's unfortunate, but if you remember me, running back is the position you're supposed to be able to find every year. Undrafted every year. You should be able to find that.
100%. Shout out to IMAX. He says, evening, gents. Go Canes. Shout out to Hannah Montana. She says, evening, boys. What's up, Hannah Montana? Cap, I will get to your...
The gracious Hannah Montana.
Apologies, the gracious Hannah Montana. Cap, I will get to your comment in a bit because it leads on to something else I want to say. But yeah, Charlie, today's Miami Dolphins breakdown on social media is how many players the Dolphins had on veteran rest today on Wednesday. So basically, it was like Tyreek Hill, Jordan Poyer, and Teron Armstead, and everyone's going, why some players on veteran rest is because this team's soft, all this kind of stuff. And my first thing was, veteran rest has been going on for years. Is this the first time you've noticed that the older players get vet rest? Like, how can this be? Like, Charlie, explain it to me.
As much as Dolphin fans and us on this podcast, Kadeem, have been down Teron Armstead's throat, no Diddy. Like, we're always on Armstead, you know what I'm saying? Like, for being healthy and being available, you would think they understand the concept of veteran rest. And since we're talking about Teron Armstead, let's bring up the fact that Teron Armstead, according to Fins Extra on Twitter, 0 sacks allowed, first in the league. 0 quarterback hits allowed, first in the league. 6 hurries allowed, tied for 5th in the league. 6 pressures allowed, tied for 2nd in the league. 1 penalty, tied for 4th least in the league. 91.1 overall grade, first in the league. 90.1 run block grade, first in the league. And 83.6 pass block grade, 9th in the league. So for all of everyone who complains, including ourselves, about Teron Armstead, you have what you've been waiting to get from Teron Armstead now, and now you're complaining that he's not practicing. I'm done. You know what this is like, Kadeem? This is like having a girlfriend that you just don't understand. Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not for you. You just gonna have to get somebody else because I don't get it. I don't know what you want me to do here, and that's what the fan base is. Like, they just complain about everything, bro. So let them complain about everything, and I'm gonna move on from them.
Yeah, Robert Ashton says the latest narrative that the Dolphins don't trade hard enough. I foolishly got into an argument with a Bills fan on social media. Like, I don't know why I did that, but we're going back and forth, and he's saying to me, you know, basically, yeah, the Dolphins are soft. That's why, you know, we can't beat the Bills because we have too many players on vet rest, all that kind of stuff. When I pointed out that, having spoken to NFL athletes and coaches, that hey, rest and recovery is just as important as training hard. Like, the conversation, like, it's stupid. Charlie, you train in MMA. I know you also go gym. Just how important you're, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. You aren't a high level athlete that gets paid $1 million, but you are an athlete who's been working out for God knows how long. Can you explain to some people who don't understand why rest is important, why rest and recovery is just as important as making sure you work out, diet, all that kind of stuff?
Hey, recovery is just as important as the actual training. You know what I'm saying? And I'll give you the better example. We could remove myself from it as not even, I don't even consider myself a low level athlete. I appreciate you throwing me in there, Kadeem, but we'll remove myself and we could just go back to the Dolphins. We brought in Jalen Ramsey and he injured himself in practice. Xavier Howard had a quad injury trying to cover Tyreek Hill. And all of a sudden, you have the best of the best players in the NFL on one team, and they're injuring each other in practice because they're going so hard in practice. So it's like, yo, like you can't have everything both ways. So you can't go too hard, and you can't go not hard enough. No diddy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, you gotta find the medium. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying, we you know what I'm saying? So you gotta find the medium, bro. You can't. Oh well, they don't practice hard enough. And then, you practice too hard. This is Chris Greer's fault because they practiced too hard and they got hurt in practice. So look, man, again, I don't entertain fans like that, bro. I can't, bro. I can't. I don't mind having real conversations. But these conversations, well, what do you want? Oh, I want them to train just right. Of course you do, bro. Of course they do. Of course we do. You know what I'm saying? But that's bro, you gotta you need a break sometimes, bro. And I forgot who said it. This is just a saying in the league. And it's been around for 100 years probably. And it's not probably like 30 years. It's the saying is we don't get paid to play the games. We get paid to practice. We play the games for free. You know what I'm saying? So all of those times where you doing two-a-days and mini camp and training camp and you stay at the facility watching film and you for 8 to 10 hours a day just watching film and in the training facility and all this other stuff, that's what you get paid for. The coach has to know when it's too much. And we have to trust that the coach knows when it's too much. Shout out to Coach McDrip, always wearing a long sleeve, always wearing a hoodie, always wearing a sweater. Michael Mick hoodie. That's what the Michael Mick hoodie, right? So shout out to him. And he said, I always wear a hoodie because I want to get a pulse. I want to get a feel for the temperature of what the players are feeling. It sounds good. I don't think that's why he does it, but it sounds real good. I always got a long sleeve on in South Florida. And I would like to think he has a really good gauge on what's going on with his players and his team and practice. We're talking about practice, not a game, practice.
100%. Cap for Life said, I need to fact check something. When we let go of Dennis Hickey in 2017, did he go to Buffalo right after as a GM or scout and help recruit Josh Allen? Or yeah, after left Miami, I have to know. So Dennis Hickey was fired on the 2nd of January 2016, and then on May 19th, 2017, he was hired by the Bills as a senior college scout, and the Buffalo Bills drafted Josh Allen in 2018. So there is maybe something to Dennis Hickey leaving Miami, going to Buffalo, and helping them train or scout Josh Allen. Charlie, this one's for you. All I can tell you is when we lost to Arizona, Drew Rosenhaus was very vocal on Channel 7, saying that the Dolphins were not utilizing his client more in the last loss. When there's smoke, there's fire, ? What do you make of that, Charlie?
I mean, he has many clients on the Dolphins. I'm going to assume he's talking about Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins are not using Tyreek Hill enough, or they didn't use him enough in that game. And here goes another conversation. The Dolphins use Tyreek Hill too much. Remember, he was getting targeted too much. 13 targets is too much. You know what I'm saying? So now, let's just find out how many targets Tyreek Hill had against Arizona. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think there's a such thing as too much targets for Tyreek Hill, bro. Like, if there's no such thing as too much targets for Cooper Kupp, and there's no such thing as too much targets for Jamar Chase, and there's no such thing as too much targets for Justin Jefferson, why is there a such thing as too many targets for Tyreek Hill? Why was that a thing? You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna pull it up to see what the targets were for that game. But Nah, bro. There's no such thing as too many targets. Tyreek Hill had 9 targets in the loss against Arizona. He was 6 receptions, 9 targets, 72 yards. What are we doing? Are we trying to watch his targets? Are we trying to feed him more targets? Because either way, it's gonna be what it was last season. Oh, they're focused on Tyreek too much, and they need to spread the ball around because the 2,000-yard conversation, and he had 14 targets a game, and now he ends up with 9 targets. And shout out to Cap for Life, appreciate the comment. It wasn't enough. So, what are we gonna do? In my opinion, just to answer the comment, I don't believe there's a such thing as too many targets. I believe you win the game. That's it. You win the game however you win the game. If Tyreek Hill had 4 targets and you won the game, I'm happy with it. If Tyreek Hill had 14 targets and you won the game, I'm okay with it. So that's where we are. I don't know that to be a conversation that we don't use them enough. But I don't believe I don't think there's smoke there either. Like Tua just came back. That was his first game back. So I don't think it's anything yet.
Yeah, it's again, I feel like at the moment, because the Dolphins are losing and Miami fans have way too much time to speculate about every single thing. There's all of these mini arguments and conversations. So Robert Ashton says this is earlier. Robert Ashton said you double dipped that chip, Kadeem, arguing on Twitter and with a Bills fan, damn brother. And then earlier, Cap, when he first entered the chat, said, "Gentlemen, sorry I'm late. I was eating some chips." Charlie, do you know why Cap said he was eating some chips?
I don't.
So Tua Tagovailoa had his press conference today, or he's at the podium, and he was asked, or I don't know if he was asked, but the conversation came about the botch snap, which led to the safety. And Tua basically said that the snap was a lot harder than people who are sitting at home eating chips basically expected or realized. Everyone is not like, so shout out to Ryan Fitzpatrick. He said, I believe this is what people call chippy. Quite like that. Tua is pissed off, excuse my language. So yeah, I'm going, Cap, if I'm wrong, please tell me. But I assumed that I'm eating some chips is Cap basically saying that he is a fan that sits at home and eats chips. So what do you make of Salty Tua telling fans that they basically eat chips at home and don't know what they're talking about?
Shout out to Rich Eisen for coining the name Salty Tua. Bro, bro, you know, I like the term. Two things could be true at the same time. I do believe that ball came out pretty hot. I like, that's pretty hot. It came out higher than usual and faster than usual. So it seemed on TV. But then it also looked like Tua had a chance to corral it. And I don't know what the procedure is. As a quarterback in shotgun, I don't know if quarterbacks eye the ball into their hands. You know how the receiver look the ball in. You know what I'm saying? Look it in, look it in. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know what that process is for a quarterback that takes routine shotgun snaps if they're already looking at the coverage and they're already got their hands up and they catch the ball. But I don't think Tua actually looked the ball in. Again, I don't know if you're supposed to or not. Maybe, matter of fact, we're gonna get my dog. My dog was the quarterback for USF. Shout out to Drew Miss. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get Drew Miss on the podcast, and he's gonna tell us about quarterbacking at a D1 college. So I don't know. But I do think there was a chance Tua could have caught that ball, caught that snap, although it was a bad snap. Same thing with the one in Kansas City. Yes, it was not a perfect snap. Tua might have had a chance for it, but it's a hard thing to ask a left-hand quarterback to do when he's opening up to his left and then going back to the ball for the right. But it doesn't matter. It lands on the quarterback. Unfortunately, you get blamed for most of your losses and you don't get credit, or you get credit for most of your wins too. So it's unfortunate, but I'm okay with Tua being salty too. Yeah, it is what it is. Bro, I need this. I need it. I need people to know, yo, there's pressure. I need Coach McDaniel to not be comfortable and be like, yo, there's some pressure. You haven't felt this yet. Since you've been here in Miami, everything has been pretty cool for Coach McDaniel. You know what I'm saying? But nah, bro, we just don't want it to be cool. We want a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, so everything was real cool when you came in and everything was everything. But everything is not everything no more. And same thing with Tua. Like, hey, bro, you know you have to be available. Now you got your money. Our record is what it is. How y'all boys gonna get us out of this conundrum?
Yeah, definitely. And listen, the one thing I will say about athletes across multiple sports, and you're seeing it more and more with the rise of social media and stuff like that. Fans believe that they can say whatever they want, tweet players, all that kind of stuff, and players won't react. No, players will react and tell you about yourself. So, I'm going to. I don't know if Cap took any offense to what Tua said. I highly doubt it. To anyone who did take offense to what Tua said, I don't eat shit, blah blah. Yo, you're no offense the kind of person that will tweet someone on their phone, be like, at Tua one, you suck. Like, dude, put your phone down, go speak to your wife, go speak to your husband. I've never seen a point in after a loss or after a bad performance messaging someone you don't know over the internet. Like, dude, what are we doing over here? The final thing about Tua before we think, and again, is fans are angry about Tua's new hair color. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I seen it. I think didn't bro. No one's ever happy, bro. Like he got braids and they didn't like that, and whatever. I don't. It's his hair color, bro. It is what it is. I did see it though.
Yeah, like
dog is from Hawaii, bro. He's from Hawaii.
Yeah, like it is amazing. As I have another fact check to do very quickly from Cap, a few comments as well. Hello, Manolo. He says losing attracts all the second guessing and nitpicking. Cap said he believed fourth quarter targets that Drew was referring to. I want to say something about that, but do you have anything to say, Charlie, before I get to my point?
Not really, because we were in control of the whole game. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's so bad to lose the Arizona game when you're in control of it. You were in control of the Colts game. You weren't supposed to lose that one. When you lose games, you're supposed to win, bro. It's even worse. And even Manolo, he's about to say it now. You about to get to a comment. He's like, yo, doesn't Josh Allen have the most turnovers, but winning cures all? And that's the truth, bro. Josh Allen's gonna have the turnover record whenever his career is done. It's a fact. He's gonna have the turnover record because he got it now. Like he has some type of turnover record now, but they win. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, you got to win the turnover battle. That's what matters. You got to win games, bro. But continue, Kadeem.
Yeah, I was gonna say again. Listen, Drew has every right to speak on behalf of his client. What I will say is that I would like to think that even Tyreek Hill knows that if you're leading in the fourth quarter, maybe throwing the ball isn't the best idea. You probably run the ball. Now, again, like the Dolphins weren't behind the fourth quarter until the clock was on 0-0-0. So Tyreek Hill wants more targets in the fourth quarter when you're up. I don't quite understand that. Unless he's referring to specifically when the Dolphins got the ball back and they were up, was it 2? Or like...
Yeah, we were up 2, and I think Jonnu Smith dropped that first down. Maybe the ball could have been placed a little bit better, but it hit him off the hands and went out of bounds. But yeah, bro, that's here nor there.
And again, very, very quickly, because there's something else I want to say. And I'll say this to his face as well if I ever see him. To complain about not getting targets in the fourth quarter is one thing, but then fans will rightfully point and say some of your drops in the last season alone have been egregious. So if you're going to complain about targets, and fans are going to complain when the ball does come your way in key games, catch the ball and the Dolphins don't lose key games. What are we doing here, people?
I ain't gonna lie, Kadeem, to second that. So first of all, if it doesn't work, fans are gonna be like, you should have ran the ball. You should run the ball 4 quarter, kill the clock, all this good stuff. And then if he drops it, it's gonna be now the clock stops. You see? So, bro, if you are more dependable, Tyreek Hill, and not saying that this is Tyreek talking to his agent, but if Tyreek was more dependable, Drew Rosenhaus, maybe we would go to Tyreek Hill in the 4th quarter when we need to seal the game. But he's not dependable. The man, him and Waddle got all kind of drop issues.
Yeah. So Cap says, I need to fact check me again, Kadeem. How many fumbles from quarterback to center exchanges does Tua have from the past 2 years? So I'm looking going back.
If I had to guess, bro, if you had to guess, Kadeem, we're not gonna fact check. If you just had to guess, how many quarterback center exchanges in the past 2 years do you think that there were erroneous?
I feel like there's maybe 5 or 6, and that could be like the under.
My number was 7. My number was, it feels like in the past 2 seasons we've had 7 bad quarterback center exchanges, but I could be wrong.
So I went to StatMuse, and StatMuse, I tried to say how many snap fumbles does Tua have. They couldn't give me that. So I wrote, how many fumbles does Tua have in the last 3 seasons? StatMuse is telling me it's 22. That seems like, according to StatMuse, Tua had 13 fumbles last year. That does not seem right.
You know why? You know why that is? Because that's not only Tua's fumbles, like a strip sack type thing, or running an actual fumble, someone hit him and he actually fumbles, but that's also center quarterback exchanges as well as running back quarterback exchanges. So if there's ever a handoff that goes awry, that's going on Tua. If there's a center exchange that goes awry, that goes on Tua. That quarterback safety that just happened, bad snap, those are not stats that they put on the center. So all of those have to go on Tua. So you might be cooking with something there, but it's no way to really tell, well, how many was his fault. You feel me?
Yeah. So apologies, Cap. I don't quite know the answer to that, but it is what it is. So yeah, StatMuse, like with any stat site, be it PFF, StatMuse, ESPN, whatever it is, it's only as good as, I guess, one, the information that the questions you're asking and the information they're recording. So as I like to point out to so many people, and even with like Josh Allen having 105 turnovers in his career and Tua having 48, not all of those turnovers are on the quarterback. Again, Charlie, you can.
Hold on, how many you said Josh Allen had?
105 turnovers. which is
Come on, son.
Which is mental. But again, even I think even you would have to like maybe somehow admit, I doubt all 105 are on Josh Allen. There's probably like 90 plus.
All of 105 aren't on Josh Allen, but I would say more on Josh Allen than there was on Tua. And I hate to defend Tua like that, but I'm pretty sure that's like, bro, when you watch the turnovers that Josh Allen commits, some of them are mind-boggling. When you watch Tua's turnovers, it's like bro, why would you throw that pass? Remember those stupid passes he was throwing last year? Like, bro, why would you do that? And then
even this year, to agree, Buffalo, like the one, like, dude, again, if you're gonna throw it far and wide. So I just the Buffalo fan who I'm getting a back and forth with. So he's bought Bill Belichick wrong, and I'm a vet. So after telling me to learn my literacy, and I'm a very petty person, he's bought Bill Belichick wrong. So when I wrote Belichick in my response, I put a little asterisk next to it, and then said asterisk correct spelling. So he just responded saying, "Listen, bro, I don't know why you are picking this hill to die on, but move on, okay? You win. England and the English have taken far too many L's this year for me to take this W from you." I kind of want to respond again and again. People don't understand. Two things. I'm a very petty person, and I don't enter an argument unless I think I'm going to win. So I really want to turn around and go, I don't know. Like I like Americans, so I don't want to really, go too hard on America and stuff like that. But this is the Buffalo fan who spent most of his time tweeting about Miami. Kind of says more
Hold
about
on,
the kind of person he is.
I just got a question. Does he have a face pic on his Abby?
He does, and that's why I tweet. That's why I responded. He has
So
a face.
does he look like a teenager or does he look older than a teenager?
Oh no, he's a full grown adult. This guy's a full grown adult.
I like it. I like it.
Apparently, he owns his company or something like that. Because he said maybe my employees pay me to be lazy, but he doesn't pay his employees to be lazy. And I was like, if you even have employees, like, what are we doing and stuff like that. So Cap seemed to be, I guess, surprised by 13 fumbles last year. And how many? I think it's 3 fumbles so far this year, but that's across 2 and a bit games. And I think all 3 of those fumbles came last game as well. The botch snap, and then there was 2 fumbles which and the Dolphins managed to recover. So yeah.
Hey Kadeem, what you make of River Craycraft coming back? The Dolphins opened a practice window the Dolphins opened the practice window for River Craycraft. Is that a deal? Is that a something or nothing?
Oh, it's definitely something. And if you're Odell Beckham speaking about on Wednesday how he needs to, kind of get more targets, or kind of Odell basically said something along the lines of there's only one ball, but he want to be involved more. Yo, River Craycraft 400 is getting the ball, like he's getting the ball. So Odell, if you're angry, you're about to be even angrier. And Drew Rosenhaus, you might want to tell your client in the fourth quarter on a key third down, the ball might be going to the Craycrafts and not you. So, hey, I feel like the Dolphins offense, especially the wide receivers and the quarterback, need a kumbaya moment and say, yo, it's not that deep. Can we all get on the same page? Also, very quickly, shout out to Talibah TV. Big up Kadeem, Charlie, and the viewers. Shout out my girl over at Talibah TV. If you're a football fan, if you're not a football fan, definitely go and give her a follow and say Kadeem says hi.
Appreciate you. Yeah, hey, Craycraft coming back is legit, bro. Like, he's an unsung hero. He's in that Trent Sherfield role when everybody thought Trent Sherfield wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. Craycraft 400 is legit. Someone else, social media, Go Time Dolphins social media had connected with Craycraft 400, and we wonder what that could have been like if he would have came onto the podcast, but we lost our IG. So we're trying to get it back. Help us get it back. But anyway, Kadeem, bro, fantasy football. We talked about, shout out to the Fantasy Game Day app, promo code GTDFF. Fantasy football is going the wrong way for me, Kadeem. And I wish I was on Same Old Dolphins with you 2 days ago, was it? Because
Monday night.
Because Josh Kasker from the Same Old Dolphin Show is in our podcast league, and he was on a 3-game winning streak, bro. Like, he was coming for us, like, nah, bro. Y'all thought I was dead, and then he popped up like the Undertaker, and like, nah, he's back. But then someone just ended his 3-game winning streak. I was 6-0 to start the season, Kadeem. 6-0. I am 6-2 now. Not only am I 6-2, I'm no longer in first place, and I'm tied for first place with 3 other teams. So there are 4 teams in our league that are 6-2, and then there's 1 team that's 5-3. I might mess around and not even make the playoffs in the Go Time Dolphins Fantasy Football League. So the reason I brought this up, Kadeem, if you have multiple fantasy leagues, you go through the app and let me see what's going on here, and I think I'm gonna win this week here. I'm gonna win that game there, and you just go through your teams. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. Kadeem, I look through my teams. I'm like, I'm gonna win these three games here, but I'm gonna take an L over there. It is what it is. After the damage is done, I come back and I'm like, yo, I was supposed to be 7-1 this week. Why is this game so close? Kadeem, I was winning by like 40 points. 40 points. And you know what happened? CD Lamb happened, Holmes. And dog, CD Lamb, while I'm playing CD's nuts, he has CD Lamb and he beats me by 8 yards. 8 yards. Can we look at this? Can you see that?
This is why I don't play fantasy football. Like, because at that point, I'm either calling CD Lamb saying, "Yo, don't do that again," or I'm just deleting the app and you won't see me again. That is crazy.
Bro, CD Lamb puts up 39.6 points, knocks me off the block by 8 yards, and CD's nuts gets his first win of the season against arguably the best team in the league. And we might as well go through the standings now. Shout out to Miami Vendetta, returning champ at 6-2. Share Ride Steve at 6-2. Championship Chuck at 6-2. Flipper Main Mick won 2 seasons ago. He comes in 4th place right now at 6-2. The Average White Guy at 5-3. Ty Freak Waddle at 3-5. Same Old Dolphins at 3-5. David Brown at 2-6. Fanish, shout out to Kai Kid, at 2-6, and CD's nuts at 1-7, and he beat me by 8 freaking yards. What's your league looking like, Kadeem?
So, for folks' sake, Ray Bottomley, absolute legend that he is 7-1. There are 3 teams in joint second. They are myself. I am second, 4-game winning streak. Just saying. Listen, is what it is. Also,
hey, hold on. What's your team name?
Hawk Tour. We discussed this already. I had to do it. So yeah, I am second, 4-game winning streak, and it should be 5 if I play Devontae Adams at 1 week, but it is what it is. Oh, sorry, bench Devontae Adams at 1 week. Stranger for Danger is also 5-3. Jimmy's Giants are 5-3. Another Hawk Tour is 4-4 in 5th place. There are 4 teams or joint for 6th. He's got Hill, Simon Myers from the Dolphin UK podcast. Definitely go and subscribe to them. Wake 91, Phil's, Finns, and Robbins. And then To Infinity and Beyond, Robert Ashton is 3-5, currently on a 2-game win streak. And then in bottom place, 2-6, Charlie Fagan with 2 in the pink.
Kadeem, there's 2 Hawk Tour teams in your league?
There are, yeah.
Who was Hawk Tour first?
I'm not sure, but we both spell like hawk differently. So I've gone HAWK, like the animal hawk, and the other one is hawk, like HOCK, like more of the like.
Yeah.
So yeah. Shout out to Gunner's boss. He says, Kadeem and Charlie, bless up. I wouldn't bet on the Dolphins salvaging their season. Plus, I'm concerned about 2 on every snap, but fins up still. We will get to that. Yeah, 100%. Cap for Life says, I was up by 45. Wake up, dude, beat me by 5 with CD Lamb. Robert Ash, again, like, that's fighting talk. That is 100. Like, that is not. And Robert Ashton says, in one of my leagues, I lost by 0.02, and 2 of my bench players made mid-20s, and the one I picked was single figures.
That's bad coaching right there, Robert. You got it. Hey, that's bad coaching, Holmes.
That's the kind of thing where, coaches lose jobs. But he also, Cap says, I'm trading for Nico or JJ, and that I'm going to be 6-3 in Miss Finn's league. Shout out to Miss Finn's.
I don't know if you're about to change the subject from the fantasy, but I'm gonna be done with what I'm about to say right now.
I was sticking to fantasy, but I can go to fantasy after.
No, go ahead.
Well, it's a question, and I can't find a question in the chat, but so you go first because I need to find the specific of this question before I get to So go first. Sorry, apologies.
I am in 4 fantasy football leagues. My main fantasy football league is a $1,600 championship pot. If you win, you get $1,600. Everybody knows about the Go Time Dolphins League, and then I'm in 2 other leagues, but I take fantasy football very serious. In 3 of the 4 leagues, I drafted Anthony Richardson. Bro, Anthony Richardson has been the detriment of all of my teams, bro. And even in this last week, I did not start Anthony Richardson. And if I would have started him, I would have won. It is the craziest thing. I want to be so far away from Anthony Richardson. It's not even funny, bro. And I just know he's going to come back 5 weeks from now and start running the ball and put up 30 points a game. And I'm going to be perturbed. But that's all I got to say. I'm done with Anthony Richardson. I cut all the Colts players because I thought they were going to stick with Richardson and then mess around. I lost Josh Downs. Josh Downs was my dog. He was my boy that I was sitting on, and I lost him. Somebody picked him up for $3. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's just injury to insult, and I'm sour, bro. Where you at, Kadeem?
Right, found it. So, oh no, right, no, I do have it. So, fantasy, what do you think? So the question is, would you this is the scenario, would you penalize someone for adding / dropping every single available replacement for James Cook ahead of Monday night football so their opponent had no options? That manager did win the game by 4 points.
All right. I'm gonna need you to repeat the question, but real quick, Cap for Life said $1,600 pot. That's crazy. Is it a 12-team or 14-team league? It's a 10-team league. Cap for Life, $1,600, 10-team league. Second place gets $400. I need you to break down the specifics of this question, Kadeem. Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. So it's basically someone picked up and dropped players immediately so that their opponent had no possible replacement, and then that person who were dropping players and picking them up won the game by 4 points because their opponent couldn't get anyone, basically.
That's fair game for me, Holmes. Like, so basically what you're saying is, let's just paint this example. Let's say I go into the Monday night game. It's the last game of the week. I need a receiver in my flex, right? And my receiver is out. So the opponent dropped, let's just say, 4 people to go pick up all 4 of the remaining receivers in that game. So his opponent could not field a flex player. That's basically what happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair game, Kadeem. Know your terrain, know your opponent, know your enemy. Like, bro, that's fair. I don't understand what the big issue is. Like, it's up to him to lose those players. Like, so now those players are on the waiver wire. It was up to him. He felt like, I needed to secure this. And it is what it is. Now, if those players come back and end up being ballers, like, he can't ask for them back. Oh, no, I need those players. But nah, bro, it's up to him. It's discretion. That's it. Case by case.
So Cap says, I've done that before. It's fair game. Then he adds, if the player is on the waiver wire and then let you drop, it's fair game. Before we get into bonus time, I've got another one. Let me know in the comments if you're watching live or after what you would do. So, Charlie, this question is for you and everyone else. You're 0.5 points in front of your opponent. They have no one.
I need to speak English. I'm 0.5, right? That's what 0.5 is? 0.5?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So you're 0.5 points in front of your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
They have no one left to play. You have 1 player. Do you think it's okay to remove them from your lineup and guarantee the win, leaving an empty slot? Or would you play them and risk a freak like -1 performance that costs you the game?
All right. So I need everybody in the comments to answer this question, because the answer is you bench that player, bro, and secure the victory. This is a no-brainer, bro. This is a no-brainer, bro. Like, listen, especially if it's a defense, Kadeem, because the defense loses points, right? And we're not saying what this player is, but I'm just saying it is even more so if it's a defense, because the defense loses points. So if you mess around and you start the defense and the defense gives up 50 points and they end up with -5 points, you lost that week. So yeah, you have to secure the victory. I'm benching that player. if it's the defense, I'm benching him even faster. Kadeem, there are times where, and this is a real situation. This has actually happened, and I need your opinion on this as well. This actually happened, Kadeem. You know what? Let's go to the screenshot because I had to screenshot it because this is very unique. You ready?
Yep.
It's a situation just like that. I'm in a week where, let's say, I have 5 people injured, right? So your bench is already so many people, and then like 3 people on a bye. So you have nobody you can sub into your starting lineup. The question is, if I start a quarterback, but he's out with an injury. So now the only way I can fill my quarterback position is to either drop him or drop somebody who's on a bye, i.e. Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, who were on byes. You know what I'm saying? Or do I just let the quarterback stay in the starting position? That's what I did in remember I told you, like, I had to start Anthony Richardson because I didn't want to drop him. Should that be fair or not? Like, if I just left my empty spot there, and if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. By the way, I won that game. And then that's when Flipper May met with, like, damn, bro, you beat me without a quarterback. And in another league, I lost that game. Should you be able to not start a quarterback or a position?
So I'm not a fantasy person. Like the way like Cap is, you are, Robert Ashton is. I think I would drop someone to pick someone up because the last thing I would want is to feel like I haven't set my lineup, if that makes sense. Like, if I know, if I'm you and I know, damn, I've got to get a quarterback because I have no one else, I would pick them up, because if not, it looks like I haven't set my lineup, if that makes sense. And then if that person beats me because I haven't set my lineup, and that person goes on to, knock someone out of the playoffs or something like that, I would feel, make the playoffs, I would feel bad because I'd be like, damn, I could have beat that person and that person wouldn't have made the playoffs. So no, I feel bad forgetting to set my lineup. I wouldn't purposefully not play someone, if that makes sense. But that's because I feel bad about everything.
I got it right here. Actually, I found it. So this is crazy that I'm even looking at it. The Vikings defense was on a bye, right?
Yep.
Achane on a bye. TJ Hawkinson injured and on a bye. Justin Jefferson on a bye. Cooper Kupp on a bye. Malik Neighbors out, injured. Tua out and on a bye. So who do I drop? So you're telling me in this situation I would have to drop Cooper Kupp just to fill a quarterback? You see what I'm saying? Or we could go to any other players. I got to drop Justin Jefferson just to put a quarterback on there. I got to drop Achane. I got to drop Devontae Adams. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's get this on there too. This is a good one. Look at how many people are out, and look at who they are. You see what I'm saying?
You could drop Juju.
Yeah, I could have. But my point is, should it be allowed or not? So I could have dropped Juju, but at the same time, he just went off for 28 points the week before. So I was like, dang, bro. Like, what if Juju becomes a starting receiver in the league? So that's something I was faced with, and I ended up saying, you know what? I'm not going to drop. Oh, here's last but not least, I'm probably going to lose this week. So now you're telling me I got to drop a player to fill the quarterback, which I'm probably going to lose anyway. And you want to know how much I lost by that week, Kadeem?
2 points.
70 points. I lost by 70, bro.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So now I got to fill the player just because. I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. So I'm okay with, if you are a team that is in playoff contention and you do this to yourself, it should be allowed. However, if you are not in playoff contention and you're at the bottom of the league, it becomes an integrity issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you're jeopardizing playoff teams. So if you're the team that you're jeopardizing and you're in the playoff hunt, you should be able to do it. And if you're not in the playoff hunt, you shouldn't be able to do it. But I'm glad you brought this up today, bro. That's crazy because it happens. It's very prevalent. It's more prevalent than what people think. And that's why you have a commissioner in every league, hopefully.
We don't have a commissioner. I guess I'm the commissioner in that league. Damn, this is. Nobody realized that you haven't been doing your job for the past like 8-9 weeks. Like, damn. But listen, that league is going well, and yeah, that fantasy question about dropping a player, yeah, that's something which, yeah, genuinely, in the comments, let me know whether you should drop a player if you're up by one. Like, because to me, that is. So interesting.
Yeah. We'll get to everything on the other side of bonus time. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Hey, you know who else does this, Kadeem? Josh Kasker from Same Old Dolphins. Because usually this is normal, something normal that I do. I only have one kicker and I only have one defense, right? That's how I do my roster. So what I prefer to do is just not fill the defense that week. So I don't have to drop the defense that I wanted the whole season. Because then if I let that defense go, then someone else going to pick up that defense. So I just play that 1 week without a defense. But Josh Kasker does the same thing. And he'll do it even more so, where he might play multiple weeks without a defense because he doesn't even have a defense. Not even that is not playing. He dropped that defense for another player. You know what I'm saying? So he had an extra roster spot. And I did that a couple times as well. But I also think that should be allowed. It is what it is. It's your team. You trying to win a championship. You should be able to do it the way you see fit.
So what you're saying, so again, I'm not a fancy person like that. I've only been in a few fantasy leagues, and especially, Go Time Dolphins against people who take it really seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely thought that if your kicker and defense is on a bye, you have to go find someone else. That's what I do. I'll drop the defense that I have and go get someone else. Are you telling me that actually you can just not play your defense that week and people don't really care?
Yes, you can actually. Hold up. I don't know about the people don't really care, because there are people, and again, this is where the conversation goes. There are people who care if they're in the playoff hunt. Like, hey, bro, I need you to beat this team because I'm going to be the team that goes to the playoffs. You see what I'm saying? So they want you to field a kicker and a defense. But if you're a team that, I'm already close to the playoffs, I got to worry about my playoff hopes. I'm not worried about your playoff hopes. And I would not do this unless it was beneficial for my team. So, yes, there are times where I might not even play a defense at all whatsoever, like Josh Kasker, for multiple weeks because I have another player. I'm like, dang. For example, I'll give you a player right now, and this is current. Ricky Pearsall, right, for the 49ers. Debo's injured all the time. CMC, who knows? Jordan Mason is not healthy. Ayuk is out for the rest of the season. Even Jennings is hurt right now. So Ricky Pearsall might be somebody you want to think about. So I picked up Ricky Pearsall, and just for this argument, let's say I like everybody else on my bench. I got Devontae Adams on my bench. I got Nick Chubb on my bench. I have Josh Downs on my bench, and so on and so forth. But Ricky Pearsall doesn't fit on my roster. So what I would do is not get a defense. I would drop my defense for Ricky Pearsall and see what Ricky Pearsall does for the next 2 weeks. Like, he might end up getting 20 points a game for the next 2 weeks and become wide receiver 1 or 2 for San Fran, and now I will drop someone else to pick up a defense and let me keep Ricky Parasol, who actually might end up being something. So that's the logic behind it. But everybody has different strategies.
I haven't. Before I ask you a question, before we head off, shout out to Finn Extra. Amazing guy, great guy. Hopefully, I want to get him on this podcast as soon as possible. I'll definitely be messaging you over the next few days to make sure you come on this podcast. Yeah, shout out to Finn Extra, one of the most informative Dolphins Twitter accounts out there. But Charlie, this episode is called "Can the Miami Dolphins Salvage the 2024 season?" So I will ask you that question. Can the Dolphins salvage the 2024 season at 2-6?
Yes. And last episode, we looked up what the money line was for the Miami Dolphins to still make the playoffs on DraftKings, and it was at plus 350. One episode later, we're gonna check it all over again to see what the people in Vegas are saying. But I do believe, to answer your question, that the Miami Dolphins can salvage the season. And since I answered the question, I need to ask you, what is the definition of salvage?
Well, that's the interesting thing, because for some people, salvaging the season is making the playoffs. For others, at this stage, salvaging the season is getting a top 5 pick to draft a quarterback. Do not draft a quarterback if you get a top 5 pick. That is the dumbest thing you can do. And again, for others, salvaging the season is cleaning house so you can rebuild. For me, salvaging the season would be making the playoffs. So yeah, that is 100% doable. The Dolphins are mathematically out of the playoff picture. But at the same time, for everyone who thinks that the Dolphins are going to start tanking, in the nicest possible way, this is probably Teron Armstead's last year in the NFL. He is not about to go down and basically quit just so the Dolphins can have, a better record next year. And for so many players, I'll be honest, friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, he might be a free agent next year. He's not going to stop making plays potentially. Like, so many players on this team are either playing for, a roster plays, not just for the Dolphins, but elsewhere next year, and just have too much personal pride to go down and lose, so that fans at home eating their chips with their double dip sauce can basically feel good because the Dolphins might get a top 5 pick, which you don't even think the Dolphins draft well anyway. So, yeah, the Dolphins can 100% salvage the season and, in my opinion, still make the playoffs.
It sounds like salvaging the season is making the playoffs. And I think we can salvage the season, and I think we do make the playoffs. I do believe we make the playoffs. I'm not even lying to you. Like, this is not, but I like to think I'm unbiased and are very rational, when it comes to the Dolphins. And even though we have a podcast, it's the Dolphin Podcast, I call out what I call out when it's time to call them out. So I do think we're going to make the playoffs. I think there's other teams around that are going to fold and crumble and not make the playoffs and help us out. But then also, I think there's a chance we could get hot. And yeah, I'm all right. We have a lot of firepower, bro. People don't want to see us like that for real. So I'm okay with it. We'll make the playoffs, and then we'll right the ship. Bro, the Dolphins are plus 350 still plus 350 to make the playoffs. That means Vegas does not think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs. If you put $100 down on the Dolphins making the playoffs and they make the playoffs, you will return $450. The Dolphins are minus 500 to not make the playoffs. That's pretty significant. That's saying Vegas like, yo, y'all boys are done. That's what Vegas is saying. Would you rather put down $5,000? And this is the layman way of asking the question. Would you rather put down $5,000 that the Dolphins do not make the playoffs and win $1,000, or would you rather put down $1,000 and return $3,500 if the Dolphins do make the playoffs? And that's how I look at it, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, I think there's a better chance that the Dolphins make the playoffs than they don't make the playoffs, and the return is way better. But that's how I look at it. That's why they call it gambling and not winning.
If I had $5,000 to put down and not care, then I'd put down the $5,000 on the Dolphins not making the playoffs. Because if they don't make the playoffs, I get money. And if they do, hey, we made the playoffs. Now, knowing the Dolphins, they'd make the playoffs, I lose the money and then lose the wild card. So now I'm vexed regardless. I'm like, yo, you might as well just not make the playoffs and give me some money. But listen, it is what it is. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy just how I need to keep reminding myself that social media isn't a real place and that keyboard warriors aren't the smart people in the world. But then someone might call me a keyboard warrior. So who knows? Who knows? Anything else, Charlie, before we get out of here?
Yeah, stop arguing with people on Twitter, bro.
No, sometimes it's just a discussion, even though like Jason Sarney over at dolphinstalk.com.
I said arguing. I ain't say discussing or debating. I said stop arguing with people on Twitter.
Yeah, that is true. I probably should do that. But then, can I argue with you on here?
Yeah, all the time. I'm here for it.
Then, yeah. Come back on. Robert Ashton said, if I had $5,000, I'd be booking a flight to Miami to watch a game. I haven't even asked you this yet, which reminds me. Charlie, if the Dolphins are in Europe next year, will you be in Europe?
We got to wait till next episode for that one. We got to wait till next episode for that one because the Miami Dolphins got an international game next year. And that's all we're going to say.
So, yeah, make sure you come back next episode. We will be previewing the Buffalo Bills game. And if you haven't already, jump over to Patreon where you can see our latest extra point episode. And then, yeah, Friday we'll be having easy money over there for our Patreon MVPs. But thank you for tuning into the latest episode of Go Time Dolphins. And we shall see you on the next one. Peace.